to the T.GG. We finally have a name for it. We finally figured out a name.
Yes, go get yourself a cup of tea or some coffee and sit down, and we're gonna have another spicy podcast for y'all today.
I gotta have the little finger out for the fans. What kind of tea do you have today? What are we on?
I have this. This is it's from the Republic of Tea. It's so good. It's like a blackberry flavored like black tea, and it's so good. I love it.
So we both went with the fruit tea this week because I have like a fuck. It's just called berry tea on the box. It's some shit.
Berry tea. That's
Yeah.
so like vague.
Well,
What kind
like,
of berry is it?
I have no fucking idea. I should check the box. It was from like Aldi, which I don't know if you guys have Aldi or like Lidl and shit like that.
You know what? I don't. I think we have. Yeah, we have Aldi's over here, but I remember Aldi specifically from like my time in Europe. So,
Okay, yeah.
but
So
I think
this
they're
shit was,
over
like,
here
20p.
too, though. There's none like around where I live, but I definitely think there are some in like when I lived in Louisville, Kentucky. I think there were some. I don't know.
They like exist. Yeah, well, it's just some,
Yeah,
like,
they
it's like a
exist.
budget store. So I saw just
Aldi-
berry tea, and I was like, I'll take it.
Aldi, like I loved Aldi. Like Aldi fucks. I swear.
Honestly, I do like the majority of my shop at Aldi because people are like, oh, I want to go to Tesco and Morrison's. And if you don't know, if you're an American watching this, it's just your Walmart, Targets, whatever. Just your
Yeah, I don't
standard
know
store.
those.
Do you not? It's crazy.
No.
But they're like the slightly more expensive stores, and I'm good to do my shopping at a budget store. I got no beef with it. Like I just
Absolutely.
had 100 cups of ominous berry tea for like 20 pence.
Girl, yes.
So,
Actually, this past Christmas, I got an electric kettle, and that shit like changed the game for me. Like, I love her so much. She boils water so fast.
the one where you just like click it,
But-
like
Yeah.
So this
so
was,
good.
this was insane to me because when I came over to the States, I remember everyone just had a coffee machine. I was like, so kettle, and it was just not a thing. And when I lived in Norwalk for like 2 months, I insisted on buying a kettle. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you not? It's so easy and like efficient.
Right. I mean, we always had like a stovetop kettle, but I finally got an electric kettle, and that boils water so fast. I love it.
Yeah, it's much better, 100%.
But anyway, let's stop talking about our tea
Our
methods
actual
and
tea.
yeah, get into the episode. So what do we have today, Miss Chelly? Tell us.
So I think we're gonna stick with our regulars, our little index of today, our contents, if you will. We're gonna revisit Smash Twitter. We are gonna revisit some of
Ooh.
our memories so that we can live as spicy Smash Twitter. We're
Not the
gonna
Smash Twitter.
what a wild week Smash Twitter has been. It's the 27th of March right now, and it's been a wild week, but we're going to focus on some more of the tournament-heavy Smash Twitter debates that we've been getting into.
But hello, I swear to God, March, like, I thought it was like March 1st yesterday. How is March already over? What the heck?
Someone said the other day that, like, we were 20% of the year already, and I was like,
What?
shut
Life-
the fuck up.
Life in this panorama is just does not exist. Time does not exist.
It really doesn't. I remember visiting with my roommate this park, and I was like, damn, it always feels like I was here yesterday. 9 months. It'd been 9 months since I just visited this park, and I've just been stuck in my little hole, like, in this room.
I know.
So, to kind of stop us thinking about the shitty little hole we're stuck into, we are going to revisit some memories of a beloved tournament, which we'll get into later on in the line. And then we're going to get a little creative with this, and we will ask subscribers or viewers or whatever the fuck you're doing to reply in the comments what you would do, but we'll get into that later. That's a secret. For now,
Yeah, we'll
let's
get into
start
that
with
later.
the Smash Twitter. So,
Shall we?
go. You can take it away.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about, I don't know, it wasn't like a huge topic in Smash Twitter, but there was a tiny little bit of discourse around net play versus IRL tournaments, and kind of like the pros and cons of each tournament. I guess there was some talk about which format is like more valuable. I guess consistent. Yeah, not valuable, consistent. And I guess, yeah, like I said, they both have their own sets of like benefits and cons. For example, net.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry, this was not my show for long enough, so I had to steal the light.
But yeah, so do you want to talk about like some of the like benefits and cons of like net play tournaments versus like IRL events?
Yeah, let's go into how it started though. I think to put the fans back if they didn't see how it went on Twitter. So I think where it started was Ginger was talking about how he misses the consistency of live events because he doesn't have to worry about... He said character choice. I don't see why that's relevant particularly, but sure. But he said about not having to worry about his own internet, how the other person's internet will be, the lag, whatever, like how far away someone is, region lock, all that good shit. To which someone was like, Lamau, no. IRL time is not consistent, and that was Europe's Nikki.
Right, I remember that.
Which is then obviously where a lot of people got into the discourse. Leffen got involved and was like, absolutely not. IRL tournaments are definitely not that consistent because of reasons that top players have, such as screaming fans and not being able to get a set up and all that good shit. So that's where it started.
And the interesting to note is that in general, the trend was that non-American players, or I guess in this case was specifically European players, were on the side of no, IRL tournaments are not consistent at all. Like, net play events are so much more convenient and so much better. And then the American players were all like, no, our internet sucks over here. Like, I have so much lag in these sets. There's so much variability to like people's setups. And that's definitely speaking to like the lived experiences of these players, because especially like European players, y'all deal with so much like shit coming over to America. Y'all have to deal with jet lag and like it's rough. Like, I don't think we talk about that like enough, like how much harder it is for like Europeans traditionally to have been able to like compete in Melee in American events. I mean, it's so much more expensive to like fly over here, and so of course like European players will value net play events more because they can just stay at home.
It's incredibly accessible.
Absolutely, incredibly accessible. And there's a lot more factors to that too. Like, healthy eating options is really big. A lot of I mean, I definitely hear that. Like, for example, like when Big House moved to Detroit, I like hated that because I swear all I ate the entire weekend was like pizza from Domino's, and like you had to wait like 3 hours for like the pizza to like get delivered to the hotel. Yeah. It was trash. And like you can pay like $20 for like 3 chicken nuggets, like if you buy food from a venue. So honestly, like the food options, I think that's such a good argument. Like, I definitely feel that. I think about this though. This kind of like tension between that we're having is like kind of, I think the conversation moves towards like, what do we value in terms of competition for Melee? Because I think like one of the things Leffen pointed out was like, you're not in net play tournaments. You don't have like thousands of people screaming at you. You don't have like people around you in close proximity like bumping into you, and that kind of got me thinking to like more stuff about like how do people handle tournament nerves? How do people handle fans for and against them? Because that's kind of something that's come up a lot, I think, in our community, is like there will be players like at IRL events that get really bad tournament nerves.
Yeah.
And they just can't really deal with the anxiety of like playing in front of thousands of people. And so do we like, as a community, do we value the skill that they have when they're playing Melee in friendlies and there's like no anxiety and stuff like that, and it's just like their raw talent? Or do we value more like how people perform in a tournament in front of thousands of people up on stage? Like, how do people deal with like high stakes and stuff like that? And traditionally, we've only cared about tournament, right? Like, it doesn't matter like what you do in friendlies. The only thing that matters is like how can you perform in tournament. Whereas in net play events, in my opinion, I think a lot of that tournament anxiety and stuff kind of cuts out. Like, I've entered a couple of net play tournaments. A lot of times I'll have really bad tournament anxiety in IRL events. I didn't really feel that in net play events, which I think that's an interesting factor to consider, and I wanted to hear your view on that.
Yeah, so I am actually someone who personally, like, so I'll get into the other factors you mentioned in a second, but yes, very funnily enough, I played a Smash Sisters event yesterday for maybe the first time in 2 years. Now, I struggle
actually missed that. I can't believe I missed that. Oh my god.
Disgusting, honestly. Like, why But yeah, so I played in the Smash Sisters tournament for the first time in maybe 2 years, and I've always chose to commentate them instead because my not just melee, like performance nerves in general has always been an issue for me. Always.
Hey.
So I am the world's biggest choker. However, sat in the comfort of my own home, I play really well. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not amazing at a game, but I was doing some things. No, but I was significantly more relaxed, and I agree.
Right.
That, I guess how I want to word this is the gameplay aspect. If we're talking only the gameplay is obviously significantly more consistent IRL. Like the chances are, yes, sure, someone might kick an extension cable and like it'll turn off the TV, but it's not as regular as someone like desyncing from a slippy or like disconnecting their internet or whatever the fuck. If you're talking about experiences that are more likely to hinder your gameplay or like your tournament kind of environment, then yeah, of course, being home is much better. Worst case, your cat walks in and jumps on your lap, or which is a classic in this house. But obviously, yeah, there's a big difference between like, oh, I don't want to see this person at this tournament, so I'm going to avoid them. Oh, there's not enough setups, there's not enough food, I'm hungry, etc. So the actual environment is significantly more consistent at home. Of course, it's going to be. The gameplay, I would say, is more consistent in person. It has to.
Right, and like, yeah, and I think an example was like people's just performances in general. Like, do you really think Hungrybox would be like having these like relatively poor performances for him, like in IRL, at IRL events, and yeah, like there's already been so many, not so many maybe, but like at least one example was like a variance within setups is like the controller overclocking issues and stuff like that. And so there are like these little tiny things that do affect.
Oh, I've lost you. Oh.
Oh.
Are you there? Oh no.
I think I am.
I think you're back. Okay, and we're back. Technical issue. We're back. Okay. I paused the
All right, I think
where
we're
it
good.
died. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, carry on. What were you saying?
But yeah, so basically, like, netplay does have these like little tiny things that definitely do affect your setup and your tournament performance and the lag that you're experiencing. And we might not even like know all of these contributing factors. Like, yeah. So it's definitely interesting.
It's also.
It all depends on.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
I guess it just depends on like the weight that we give each factor as a community, right? Like how important, like how much are we weighting healthy food options? How much are we weighting enough friendly setups versus how much do we weight ping, like high ping and high lag? But you're right, and I think definitely going back to the American versus European thing, like in America, I don't know how it is in Europe, but like I think y'all have like a lot better internet options a lot of time. In America, it's heavily dependent on where you are geographically. So like there are some areas where you just can't get like fiber optic cable internet, and that's like a big factor. And I mean, for me personally, like I have Comcast, and I've never felt like when Slippy came out, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, it's like CRT, it's like CRT, it's like CRT," and I was like, "Holy shit, I gotta get this!" So I downloaded it, I'm playing, and I'm like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like CRT to me at all. I mean, it's definitely very, very, very amazing, but I definitely don't think it's like playing on a CRT, and I don't think other American players would agree with that.
Yeah, I think the you raise a good point. I think also the difference here is if I go to the States, the chances are the local scene is thriving, and if your internet is like, even if your internet's like good, you're just like, well, there's a local like 2 seconds away, and I can play people on CRTs. Versus in Europe, our scenes are not that big. Like this, even I'd say the bigger ones are probably England and Sweden, maybe. Like Germany still has a pretty like relatively big one, but in comparison to America, absolutely not. So like again, and I referred to it back in our last podcast, was that I was from Wales, where it was like 6 or 7 people at the time. Whereas now I have like the world is my oyster, and I can go crazy.
Right.
So it's definitely the choice of, okay, your environment is shitty internet, but a fuck ton of locals with great players versus I have good internet, but no local, no one to play. So
yeah, that's interesting, definitely.
But also internet. Oh, it's like not very accessible to you if you have garbage internet.
Right, absolutely. And like you get to the point, at least in America, where like if you don't live in an area that can have like really good internet, then you're kind of fucked. I mean, like for right now, while we're in this Slippy era. But yeah, I like this is an interesting topic because like I've definitely thought of net play events, um, and like where like what their role would play when we can have offline events come back. Like I think net play events are great, and but then they're like really good for practicing, especially practicing tournament environments. Um, but we'll definitely have to keep this conversation going as a community of like the role that net play events will have in like rankings and stuff, and like local PRs. Like, will they count for that? Because I don't see net play events going away when IRL events come back.
Yeah.
I think that would be a huge waste. But we'll definitely have to like. There's no like framework established already for like the weight that net play events will hold. Like we can't even come to a consensus in the community about should we have a top 100 rankings for net play events, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting how this changes when IRL events come back.
I think when IRL events come back, I think something I would like to see, and that maybe off the top of my head right now it doesn't make the most sense, but what has always been an issue, I think, has been the way the rankings have always gone is that 90% of them are American players, and then maybe a small 1% is like a couple of European players, a couple of like Japanese players. Yeah, literally a crumb. And I remember back in the day.
It's just because Americans are the best, Chelly. Get out of here.
Oh my god, I remember back in the day where it was like, it must have been about 5 years ago, because I remember it was when I had my shitty little Red Dragon overlay on stream, and I was talking to American players, and I was like, yo, Triphasia is better than... who was the top... I can't remember who the top peach was at the time. It was an American peach. It was
MacD?
Yes, it was. And I was like, they're better than MacD. And they were like, oh, ridiculous, stupid, absolutely no, like, why doesn't he come to American events? I was like, no. I was like, just because you don't know who he is doesn't mean he's not better than your top peach. And there's a lot of players in, like, I remember Prison obviously became a little bit more well-known recently, but Europe's been known about Prison for a long time. So what I was getting at was, I think for Europe especially, because Europe definitely struggles with getting their name out there, getting their kind of skills shown to the Americans, because most of the majors are American. And, like, we can't all afford to just fly out, a couple of times a year. It costs a small fortune. Like, I do it. I do it like 6 times a year.
Chelly's out here, like fundraising 24/7 just to be able to fly to an event. It's trash. Like, I wish.
It's terrible.
Money sucks.
But I have such strong FOMO that I will fucking be there.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, it costs a small fortune, and it's like very rare do the American players come to our majors. So I think it would be really great if at least Europe could maintain a ranking based on online only, which is still, yes, not very good for people who can't get good internet, but at the same time, it's still better than not having anything at all. So
yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens in America, at least, or I mean just like globally too, like, because we have to have this conversation. I think we have to establish what's going to happen, because like there's been tension in the community between people that do want online rankings, people that think online rankings are fraudulent or whatever you want to call it. So I think we need to have this conversation, but maybe
I want to know what their reasoning is. So. I haven't like super looked into their reasoning, but I do want to know what the reasoning is for like online being fraudulent, because it's getting to the point where like it's not that delayed anymore. And sure, it definitely like hurts, but a lot of the top players you talk to, they're like, look, LTC was on monitors, LTC 7 was on monitors, and they were like, yeah, but you kind of feel the lag at first. But you get used to it, like, very fast. And a lot of the top players had said that. So it's got to the point where we've been in a pandemic for a year. What is fraudulent about it anymore? Except for, like, garbage internet connection, which is fair. I wouldn't base it... Like, if for whatever reason they had, like, a match and, like, the fucking internet was crazing out and then someone won on some bullshit, I wouldn't count that particular match towards a ranking.
Right. But it's I think it's hard, though. Like, I definitely see both sides. Because, like... I think you definitely have to region lock tournaments. I think that's pretty vital. But then, what tournament was it? Levo, when like it was region locked up until like top 16 or something. There was a tournament that just happened. I think it was Levo in like America.
Wait, so it was region locked up until top 16?
Yeah, or like some bracket part. I think like top 16 it was region locked, and then like those people like played for top 8 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And but then you get into the thing like I was watching a set where Johnny he didn't like disconnect in an actual game, but his internet went down, or S2J. His like internet went down. I think that's like I think I've seen that before from him too.
Yeah.
And then like that sucks for the other player because like their match gets delayed, and like maybe we're just warming up, now they get like iced out a little bit. So there's a lot of variables, but we should try to establish a consistent guide or like framework for this moving forward as a community. I think
that's
kind of my main point.
I feel like what would be a good idea for when IRL tournaments come back, because obviously IRL will have the higher prize money pots is what I assume. But I think what they should do is, and this is just an idea, call it awful, but I think if they carry on with online tournaments afterwards, the prize pot has to be significantly smaller, and then what should happen is if your internet fucking like dies in between, that is not the fault of the other player. I think you should just get DQ'd. And even if it only blips out for like
Chelly with the hot take.
It is a hot take. It is a hot take. But I think like that's not for now. Not for now. Definitely not for now. But when IRL tournaments come back and you can definitely like actually fight for your honor, like cool. But like if there's a netball tournament, say it's like $500 for the prize pool. But if your internet goes out, you're essentially, I think you're like low key icing out the other player, and the other player is like waiting for you and like could be just,
it
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it just sucks.
In the same way that like if you pause during a match, like you get DQ'd or you lose a stock or something like that.
You lose a stock, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe we do lose a stock, but I just think like as long as if the prize pool was really high and then someone forced you to DQ, that would suck. Like it's not your fault that your internet went down.
Right.
That would be fucking awful. So if we lower the prize pots of online tournaments like super low, so that if you get DQ'd because your internet was shitty, it's like not such a big deal as opposed to it being like 200,000 prize pool. But yeah, that's
in your opinion, what if we have this mixture of IRL events and net play events? How do you think like local PR ranking or like even like a global top 100 would work? Do you think they should be offline events only? Do you think they should count some way? Like we can like I don't know, develop some way to weight net play events less than IRL events, but still have them within that like calculation. I don't know. What would you think?
Comment below for your opinion.
We should be getting on to the next topics, I guess. That's like opening up a can of like worms.
I don't know how you like. That's definitely.
These are hard questions, right? These are hard questions. We need to like. We haven't really been answering. Like we haven't really been having this discourse very much, and well, it's interesting to think about. We'll see what happens.
I think we should just shun bad internets. I don't know.
Just canceled.
Yeah, I think there must be a way to like if you are a well-known player for having fucking awful internet. So say like you and I were like I don't know top 100 or whatever, and then my internet is consistently every fucking event just dying. My results towards my top 100 ranking should only be offline. Only. Because the only way I'm winning other ones is probably some bullshit online jerky. But say if you're top 100 and your online is consistent, you've like not really had that many issues, maybe like a blip here and there, and you also play online, I think yours should be a mixture of the results.
Yeah, I see that. I think that's like really hard to put into practice, especially with like a lot of people, but interesting.
Yeah, it's a hard one to like think.
It's a hard question. Like I mean I think we'll end up going there out of like I think realistically we're not going to be factoring in net play events when IRL events come back.
Yeah.
But I mean all of these questions of like accessibility and net play increases the accessibility for the player base. So maybe they should be weighted. You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, with that I think we should get into the next topic if you're down.
Yes. So we were talking about when IRL tournaments came back, if we had the choice, the opportunity, the money,
the resources,
the CRTs to do a tournament. Where would we do it? Why would I think it's a really cool art to be able to do a tournament, because not everyone runs a good tournament, and you think it's easy, like bring your CRTs, run the bracket.
Respect,
easy.
Appreciate your tournament organizers first and foremost.
Tip
we
them.
love you. We love you, TOs. Your work is amazing, and we love you. All right,
unless you're
ahead.
a shitty TO, like
unless you give me the wrong seed, fuck you.
But yeah, it's not as easy as people make it out to be. You don't just bring the CRT, set them up, and even that is like quite the event. But you know, you don't just bring the CRT, run the bracket. There's a lot of nuance to it. Where am I going to put
Sponsored
it?
Sponsored by Gaming Generations.
You know, is there healthy food options around? Will we get stabbed in this city? Right. You know, do we want a theme? Like, what's going to make my tournament like, the best?
Like, and running events is not like a cash grab. Like, people lose money from running events. Like, they have to pay so much for the venues, so much for the setups, and then like people don't want to be paying their venue fees. If it's over $10, it's like we gotta pay. Like, we gotta make these events go positive so also, we can continue having them.
God rest Plank and his however much money he lost in.
Absolutely.
God bless.
Absolutely.
So the question is, Milo darling, if you could run a tournament anywhere, with anything, at any place, any theme, how would you do? Like, imagine there's no limitations. How would you do it?
Okay, this was like such a hard prompt for me. Like, it's just so like there's an infinite amount of possibilities. Like, it was so cool. I think the answer I came up with is like very, very basic, but you know what? That's okay. I want a tournament at the beach. I want to be on a hotel on the beach. Think of like Smash and Splash, but it's not a water park in Wisconsin. It's like a beach in like, I don't know, California maybe,
like San
Miami.
Diego or some shit like
Absolutely, that. San Diego. Yes, that would be perfect. But I mean, I just love the beach. I don't know, it's basic, but a girl loves her sun. And also, I've always thrown the idea around of like, instead of a doubles tournament at a major, can we do a doubles volleyball tournament?
That's dope.
Because I love volleyball. I'm a big volleyball player. I obviously love Haikyuu, anyone that knows me. And if we have the tournament at the beach, we can play some beach volleyball. We can do a doubles like beach volleyball tournament. It would be so sickening. So yeah, that's kind of my dream, my dream tournament. What about you?
So mine was actually very similar to yours. However, mine had a slight difference. I was thinking about, you know how you get amusement parks, but they're kind of near a beach or like near some areas that have like that kind of thing. So I also thought of beach because I love the sun and I'm a beach nerd.
That's why we get along so well.
Thinking a food festival, slash like, okay, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's like a beach amusement park. So it's not like a roller coaster park. It's not like God, I don't even know what it's called. Not like Six Flags. Not like Six Flags or like
a theme park. Not a theme park.
Not a theme park, but like a small, like, you know when you go to the beach and they have like those shitty like little rides, like dumbass rides, like a carnival.
Like the single loop. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like that. There's a lot of beaches, or especially in Europe, there's a lot of beaches that'll have like the shitty little like log flume thing, and like,
right.
You can shoot ducks and eat candy floss and shit like that. So I was thinking,
that's so cute.
A tournament like that would be amazing because you would have, if you had the food festival and shit like that, you have like a bunch of food options.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And then you could go, if you want to go and get candy floss or fucking salad or whatever you want to do, go and get
Wait, what did you say? Candy floss?
Candy floss? What the fuck do you call it?
What is candy floss?
Candy floss is like you have like the stick and then it has like pink and like it's like sugar.
Cotton candy. Wait. How is that floss? It's like a cloud. How is that floss?
If it's cotton candy, why are you calling it a cloud? Is it not cloud candy?
No, it's like cotton because it looks like cotton. Clouds look like cotton. It doesn't look like floss. Anyway, whatever.
Good point. I'll give you the American that one.
That's so funny though. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that kind of like area, that kind of like vibe, like where there's a bunch of food, there's a bunch of like little log flumes and shoot the ducks and.
That would be so cute. I would love that.
Whatever the fuck. That kind of thing.
We can set up a volleyball net and have my doubles tournament.
We can literally like combine the two because
I mean they're pretty
similar.
much right.
So
yeah, that'd be really cute.
That'd be hype. And then there'd be food. Like, nobody can complain about food. The only thing I think people could complain about is the bad lighting, because if it's sunny...
Well, I wasn't thinking, like, the actual tournament would be outside. I would love, like, a hotel on the beach.
Oh, that would be hype, actually.
Yeah, and the venue's, like, attached to the hotel. Then you, like, play your round 1 matches, you go 0-2, and then you go out to the beach.
Okay. So, optimally speaking, okay, so there's a place where I used to live. Any Welsh people watching this, Barry Island. And Barry Island is like some shitty...
Barry Island?
Barry Island, yeah.
You have Barry T, Barry Island.
No, Barry, like B-A-R-R-Y.
Oh, okay.
And how it's set up, there's a beach and there's like that little amusement area and there's like chip shops and shit like that all there. Like fish and chip shops. And there is, I think, like a hotel somewhere near it, but it's like a hotel and then like an arcade / casino.
That's right.
So I'm thinking, if you're not having an actual hotel theme, have a hotel casino with an arcade, with the amusement park and the beach volleyball
and a beach.
And a beach.
And maybe a water park too.
And then we'll just have like helicopters flying over.
Yeah.
With banners.
Like a huge like projection screen like in the sky that like you see top 8 on.
And then we watch the sunset together and we release fireworks after oh my god, fireworks after grand finals would be fucking sick.
Would be iconic.
So yeah.
Oh my gosh, why is this not happening yet? Like what's going on? Come on, Tios.
Broke.
That's true.
That'd be sick actually. So play until like the sun goes down, and then everyone goes on the beach for a little beach fire party with music.
Right.
And some beers.
That would be a dream. Oh my gosh.
That'd be perfect. That is the perfect tournament. High key.
But we want to know all of your comments and followers, anyone listening to the podcast. What would be your like dream tournament?
Yeah, no limits, no money limits, no nothing. Like just if you could, what would you do?
Because even Royal Flush even had just the casino, and that was so much fun. And I mean, a lot of tournaments have like casinos nearby that are always super fun to go to. So even that is like really good.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, honestly, some of the bigger tournaments are just the most simple. Like, look at Genesis. Genesis is just a tournament. Big House is just a tournament in a place. There's no like, it's not like Smash and Splash or Riptide or Royal Flush where it had like not a gimmick. I don't want to say gimmick, but like, you know, one was a water park, one was a casino.
Another attraction. But yeah. I think it really does like make the tournament. I think, in my opinion, I had so much fun at Smash and Splash. Like, I had so much fun at Royal Flush. I want more tournaments in that category. I think it's like, I think it's super healthy for spectators. I think, you know what I mean? I think you like feel like spectators will get like more of their money's worth because they get to go to water park too. Yeah. I don't know. I think I would be really cool to see more tournaments like in that category.
Yeah, I agree. Because as someone like who goes 0-2 to 3-2. Yeah, I mean, I got plenty of time to spare, and you know, a lot of my friends might do better than me. So if I want to go for a swim, I remember Splash and Splash was great. I remember after I think it was the second day, I remember just a bunch of people were like, "Oh, pool bar," and it, like to be fair, we took so long to get there, and we got kicked out like but we like went into this little pool bar, sat down, and we just like in a little swimming.
It was so fun. Yes, those drinks were so good. Those drinks were huge too. They were like the glass was like this long.
They were like $10 a refill, I think, or like maybe more. But
yeah, it was something like that. I don't know, but
yeah, I think even though Genesis and Big House are like the hard hitters, the ones that have like the little things that make them just that little bit more fun really hold a place in my heart. I'm super down for like the gambling
and like
or the water
they
bars.
make them like so much more memorable too. Like I remember Smash and Splash. Memorable, sure. Shut up. Yeah, memorable, not rememberable.
Stupid ass.
They make them so much more memorable, and like I just like the pool bar at Smash and Splash. Like that was so much fun. So we need more stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Which actually then gets us into our final piece. We were reminiscing a little bit about one of our favorite tournaments, which was Pound 2019.
Yeah.
So we are going to give you 2 of our favorite in bracket memories and 2 of our just personal memories from Pound 2019. Iconic tournament, honestly.
Honestly, it was iconic. Pound was amazing.
It was my first Pound, because the Pound before that...
Really?
Yeah, because the Pound before that was...
Pound 5.
The first one back, wasn't it? No.
Yeah.
Was pound?
Yeah.
No, there was a 2018 one.
Or no, it was pound 6, right?
Pound 6, yeah. So pound 6. So that was the first one back, and then 2019.
Yeah. So pound 6 was the one like in Tyson's corner. I guess you weren't there. It's a place
the
in
Mango
Virginia.
Hacks one?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. And that was my first tournament where I competed. Actually, pound 6. My first major was like the Super Smash Con before that, but I didn't compete. But then I competed at that one, and that was a fun tournament too. But we're talking about pound 2019, which happened at the new and improved like Xanadu venue, which is super awesome at Laurel Racetrack. I'm from MDVA, so pound has a special place in my heart. I love it. But yeah, do you want to go into the mems first?
The mems first. Okay, so yeah, so I think the reason that I wanted to go to pound was the pound previous. It was because the pound 6 was very iconic, and I was like, okay, I am going to go to this pound. This pound's great.
Right.
So I went. A lot of people went to that event. Loved the venue. I think it was maybe the first time I'd been to the venue. And I went through the matches earlier on today, and there was a lot of matches that I really liked, but I'm going to pick some unusual matches that I don't think you necessarily think I would have picked. So I'm going to pick the J-Flex versus Calvar. And I think I need to atone for my fuck Sheik tweet, because I upset a lot of Sheik players yesterday, because I tweeted fuck Sheik.
I was too.
Fuck Sheik though. I thought, I hate Sheik so much. But actually, no, I do really like a lot of Sheik players, as long as they're not playing me. So... Yeah,
I love watching like high level Sheik play. I mean, it's just I hate playing the matchup. I mean, yes, exactly. We all have matchups we like to play and we don't like to play. You know? I mean,
everyone hates Sheik, even Sheik. So yeah, I remember watching J-Flex Calvar. I believe I was commentating it too, actually. And it was one of the first times that I really sat down and watched Calvar play. Now, I'm a Marth main. I really enjoyed watching. I'd seen him play before, but I hadn't seen like a fully fledged match. And I actually am not sure. I can't even remember if he won it, but I just remember watching J-Flex too, which was the first time I'd ever heard of him. And they were very even, and there's something about a Marth Sheik matchup that if it's even, it's thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah,
I don't like
totally
any of them dogging on like the other one. I'm just like, that's a boring match. But whereas like I think there's certain characters that like, for instance, if Peach went against like Puff and then absolutely dogged on the Puff, that'd be hype as fuck. I'm like super here for it. But I think because Sheik and Marth are, I don't want to say even, but kind of.
I think Sheik Marth has like, I don't know, maybe the most potential for being like a true even matchup. Like we get a ton of people saying like, oh no, Sheik beats Marth, and a lot of other people are like, no, Marth beats Sheik. So like we don't even know, you know what I mean?
I think Sheik beats Marth like
I'm on that page too.
This much, like tiny.
I'm on that page too, but nobody knows, you know.
I think no, I know. Fuck Sheik. Sheik. No, I think the only reason I think Sheik has the edge, I would say it was mostly even. The only reason I think Sheik slightly has it is because of her killing power. That's literally the only thing I think. Because if she fears me, I'm fucking. If I fear her, she's just like, oh, what are you gonna do next? Like, I find it so fucking hard.
Another fair, you can combo her, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it takes so long. Where she fears me and I'm just dead. Or she, like, sex kicks me and I'm dead. Or she just fucking up airs me and I'm dead. And there's just, everything is death. Like, everything is death.
It's hard,
I can up smash her and, like, she won't die. She can up smash me and I fucking... So yeah, but I really enjoyed that match. The reason I enjoyed that match
Wait, who won that set?
I feel like J-Flex did. If I remember rightly.
That would make sense. That would make sense. Because then I was looking at... I glanced at the bracket. I didn't like... there are a couple sets that I want to point out that I didn't really like rewatch them though, so I can't really talk about them much. But I did see J-Flex in like the top 48.
Yeah, J-Flex did really well that tournament.
He ended up losing to... I want to say Cool Line, but don't quote me on that. Or no, Shoot Out or something. I don't know.
That was also the pound of the ices, because the ices were brains on that pound.
Yeah, so that's kind of, maybe I'll go into one, but I guess I don't really want to necessarily talk about specific tournaments, but I just want to talk about like this tournament was great for MDVA. Obviously during this time, like Zane was at the top by now, and I guess he was in contention for like top 3. I want to say. I don't know how accurate that is, but yeah, at this point, Zane's like at the top, and like that's great for MDVA. We haven't really had a representative from MDVA be at like that high level in a long time. And so he's doing really well. And then we also have Jerry, who Jerry was like super up and coming. Like, I mean, everyone knew about Jerry. In his, I think he previously went by Obi. I think that was his name. And he was kind of like a net play warrior when like Answers Ladder kind of first came out, and he got super super good on net play. And then within our region MDVA, he just at some point he started as a Falco main, and then I think he switched to Fox and then Puff and then back to Fox. But at some point he like started winning every Xanadu he ever entered, and like no one could beat Jerry. It was wild. And then at Pound 2019, I think there was a Smash Con before this where he mained Puff, and that was kind of a breakout tournament for him. And then this Pound, he was maining Fox. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, it's just another Puff main. Like, he's just doing, like, Puff gimmicks. But now he's, like, beating the fuck out of people with Fox, and it's, like, iconic. And this tournament, he beat Lucky 3-2. Then he 3-0'd KJH, which was huge. And that I rewatched that set before we did this, and that set was, like, really, really good. And Jerry just looked super clean. And then we had Cool Lime. And Cool Lime's kind of like an enigma to me in like MTVA. Like I don't think he enters that much, but when he does enter, like he just like gets these results that are completely wild. And I don't know, some people will say it's icy, he's like just wobbling, but no, he's an amazing player.
Some will say it's icy.
But no, Cool Lime's an amazing player, and he got like top. Did he get top 12? I think I don't know. Maybe I'll just look up the bracket.
Top 16.
Top 16 probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he did super well. Wasn't that before he went? Wasn't that the same? I think Cool Lime did so well at that I believe that's how he ended up getting into Summit.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I forgot Cool Lime was in Summit.
I have a really embarrassing story actually. So I actually didn't know what Cool Lime looked like, and I remember I visited a Summit the one year. And I was like, oh, yo, what's up? What's your name? And he was like, I think it's Diego? I think that's his name.
Yeah, Diego Wheat.
Yeah, so he was like, oh, yo. But he didn't say anything, like, you know, I was just like, oh, hey, what's your name? And he's like, oh, Diego. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you. I had no idea who the fuck he was until he sat down. And I was like, oh, shit, that's Cool Lime. And he, like, started doing really well. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I'd never seen him.
Right.
Like, he was always, like, someone I saw, but, like, I think I saw him on a couple of online tournaments, but I hadn't seen his face. So yeah, Cool Lime did really well that tournament.
Yeah, I'm just pulled up the bracket. Where is he? Cool Lime. Yeah, Cool Lime did beat J Flex 3-2.
Ah, okay.
So I did remember seeing that. That was in, I don't know what standings these were, like some losers match. And then Cool Lime beat Big Kid, and then Cool Lime beat Toussaint as well. So that was big.
I forgot about that. Oh my god, did you see that set though? The Cool Lime Toussaint set?
I probably did. I forgot it though.
It was awful.
Was that when it didn't it go to timeout?
It was when I'm sure I'm thinking of the right match here. This is when like Toussaint like just like sat like this, and he was just like.
Yeah, I remember that. No, I do remember that.
And then he just like didn't care anymore. He just like stopped caring.
No, I do remember that.
He was very
but yeah,
upset.
so Cool Lime took out, and then Cool Lime beat Kaon. So Cool Lime was just going in on these tri-state players.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
God, I remember.
Shoutouts to Cool Lime. And yeah, Cool Lime made top 12.
Nice.
Wow, that's iconic. Because he had a really good showing with Puff, because he had switched to Puff for a while, and his Puff was amazing and was winning Xanadu's. And then he had a really good showing with Puff at a Super Smash Con. I think the one before this, whichever year that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then switched to Fox and got amazing with Fox and started winning every Xanadu with Fox, and then comes to Pound and beats some seasoned Fox mains, like known to be really good at the Ditto. And now Jerry was like super being taken seriously as a top player and on his way to the top. And I don't know where Jerry is now. I don't know if he's entering.
I was about to say that. I was like, I haven't heard anything Jerry for like
so I don't. I think he was like playing Ultimate for like when Ultimate came out. I don't. Yeah. I don't exactly know. I don't know if he's still playing Melee, but Jerry, we want you to come back.
Please. Please. Okay. So the other match that I had prepared was the match where it was Zane, IBDW, which was honestly, so I remember I knew of IBDW, but I didn't know about IBDW, and this I feel.
Do you know where, like, in the bracket this was?
Do you know what? I can actually tell you because I watched it. No, I can't. Never mind. Just like, hang on, I'm ruining everything. 2 seconds. Hang on. Yeah, so it's like top 24 losers.
Okay.
So yeah, I knew about IBDW, and IBDW was very good. But he had a match with Zayn, and I believe it went to game 5, and it was very sick. It was very cool. I think this was like one of IBDW's best showings. I think this is where like IBDW started to like start going up. He was sponsored by like
the top.
Yeah, he was sponsored by Ace at the time, so this was pre Panda Global days.
Oh my gosh!
So this was like when I found out about how good IBDW was against Zayn. And that was
Wait, I'm confused though. Are we talking about this is Pound 2019?
Yep. Hang on. So Pound 2019. Do you know what? I can send you the link potentially. Oh, not Zayn. Why am I saying Zayn? Zayn's in my mind. Pew pew, not Zayn.
Okay. Because I'm looking at the bracket, like I'm not following.
No, I'm a dumb asshole. No, I think because Zayn was on the mind because we were talking about like.
MGPA.
Yeah. Sorry, pew pew. Because pew pew had a really, if I remember rightly, did really well.
Yeah, he did have a little run.
And I think this was a really cool pound as well because this was the pound where it was Pew Fat versus Plup King. And that doubles final was incredible.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember it.
I believe Plup King won it. It was like one of the first times that Pew Fat had been upset in a while. So,
I miss doubles. I haven't played doubles in so long.
Yeah, me neither. Sorry, fucking Zayn. Pew.
I was so confused.
I'm so stupid, dude. So yeah, that's my second pick.
Well, they were definitely some memorable sets from Pound 2019. And do you want to talk about some personal memories?
Yes, I do want to shout out though. However, I think Pound 2019's grand finals was maybe one of the worst grand finals I've ever seen. Okay.
Hungry Box versus Mango, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because Mango beat H-Box in winners, and then Hungry Box 3-1, 3-0'd him.
Yeah, it was just not. It was not the epic battle.
That was so trash. And then and then someone threw a crab at Hungry Box.
That was indeed the same one. Yeah, I just
oh
think,
my
like,
gosh.
I didn't mind Hungry Box winning that. Like, I've got no beef with it. I've seen it many times. But I think I was just expecting more of a battle. Like, I'm always here for, like, a 3-2... Like, if it had been, like, a 3-2 and then a reset and then 3-2 again, I'd have loved it. But it was just so... It was over so soon. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, it was a bummer. But... I mean, obviously, congrats on Hungry Box. Yeah. And I in no way endorse throwing a crab.
It's just ridiculous. I think that's the thing.
It's just
like laughable
the absurdity of it is just so funny to me. Like, we're in Maryland and you're gonna throw a crab. That's so funny.
Do you know what? A funny story though. I was briefly sat next to the guy who threw it because there was a small group of us. So the way the pound stage was, there was like 2 stages, and grand finals was on the one side. And then a bunch of like Mango Nation had decided to like sit on the other side. There's like pictures of it. And we're all just kind of there like, let's go Mango, woo! And some dude like sat next to it. Like there was like a bunch of dudes that we didn't know, but you know, they were trying to watch. We're not going to say no. And I remember seeing the guy, and I couldn't tell you what he looked like, but I remember he was like, oh yeah, like just went to this crab place nearby.
Kelly's
like,
a primary witness.
Well, I didn't see him throw it. But he was like chatting to us for a while, and he was like, "Oh, I fucking, I hate Hungry Box," like the usual kind of like, eh.
Right.
I just thought it was, whatever. And then I remember he won, and this dude was gone. And then I just remember seeing the crab, and I was like, wait. I was like, hold on. I was like, this man said he was gonna eat this later, and all of a sudden he's just throwing it at Hungry Box. I saw the weapon up close. So, yeah.
That is funny. And it's even, like, funnier because our friend, Sweet Pea, I think that's her tag, right? She,
Oh, I've lost you.
She was there, and she, like, tweeted a picture of, like, she was sitting behind the guy, and, like, the guy had the crab, and she was like, oh my gosh, like, you're in Maryland when, like, someone brought a crab to the venue.
Oh my god.
Little did she know that that crab was a weapon.
Yeah, it was so weird, dude. It's what a strange time, but it makes for like an insane story. Like,
totally, for
this
sure.
guy had a crab thrown at him.
It makes the tournament memorable, would you say?
I would say so. I actually was going to tell that crab story as one of my memories, so back to you in the studio.
I'm sorry, I stole your thunder.
No, you're good. I mean, I brought it up, so it's cool.
Right.
So,
I guess one of my memories is like, this is the first time ever I went out in drag.
Yes,
which
I
was
remember
that was really, really fun. I did like some really cute makeup looks the entire weekend. I was like in and out of the venue kind of because, like I said, I'm from MTVA, and the Xanadu venue is like 30 minutes from where I was living at the time. And I didn't compete at this tournament because I had like other stuff going on during the weekend. But it was super fun, and everyone was super nice, and like, I got so many compliments on my makeup, and that was my first time like in drag at a tournament, and it was super, super nice. So that was definitely a really good memory. I did look very busted. My makeup was not cute, but I did get a lot of compliments, and everyone was super nice. So those are like the important times to remember. Like, we can kind of like, I guess there's a lot of negativity, obviously, that we see in the Smash community a lot, especially in regards to like, I think that's exacerbated when everything is online like it is right now. But honestly, when I go to tournaments and I present very femme or like I'm wearing makeup, I don't really get a lot of like negativity, honestly. I get a lot of positive reinforcement, and that like makes me feel really good. So it is nice to remember those times, especially now during these online times when we don't see that as much, when you can't experience that as much. But there is a lot of good in this community. So.
I mean, I feel like the thing is the people who are online actually just don't fucking go to tournaments. They just like kind of watch, right. And they just do not actually attend the tournaments and know anyone.
Totally.
So that's why I always feel significantly safer at an IRL tournament than I do online. Because like online sucks.
Right, like I would feel safer like at a tournament than like watching my set on stream where I'm like wearing makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I've done that before. Like I commentated as Xanadu once, and I was like wearing makeup, and like I got some really mean comments in the Twitch chat, and I was like watching it back, and it like kind of sucked. But you know, when I'm at the tournament, everyone's super nice. So
yeah, I've never, to be honest, like again, this is just my personal experience, but I don't think I've ever had anyone just come up to me like, oh, woman, go back to your kitchen, or like it's never happened. It's never been a thing. And again, that's just my experience, and might have happened to other women, and obviously there's a multitude of experiences that women will go through at a tournament. However, if you wanted to put me into a room with all the people who currently go to tournaments and all the people, and then you put me into a room with all the online people, fuck that. No.
Right.
Like, that is a dangerous little fucking pool of people I don't want to be in. Yeah. Whereas there's like a bad egg here and there.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, fuck online. Most of the people on online are just not even part of the community. They just want to be on there to call people bad words and cause issues and stuff. So.
Anyways,
fuck, I forgot. Oh, yeah. So, Pound was very close to a casino, and your girl likes to gamble. So I remember there was a group of us.
It's true.
So I think it was after grand finals. I could be confused with the days because obviously Pound 2019 was fucking a couple of years ago. But I'm pretty sure it was after grand finals, and a bunch of us went to a casino, and we got really drunk, and you're just dying on me. No.
So sorry, I swallowed that tea down the wrong hole.
So after grand finals, a bunch of us went to the casino. I want to say like Wenz was there, Chelly was there, Lucky was there, Mango was there. A bunch of people went.
The D-Gen squad.
Yeah, like Johnny, I think may have been there. I can't remember. There was a bunch of people. Kalindi. And I remember we stayed there until like 4 a.m. Like however long it was like open, we were there. And then we went back to the hotel, fell asleep, and because it was the day that we were supposed to all be leaving, we were all up very early. I want to say we were in the lobby, like the hotel lobby, by 9. And I remember I can't remember whether it was Wenz or whether it was Mango, but they walked in and they were like, "Yo, casino?" And we were like, "Nah," I'd be kind of down. No, ha ha ha. And we went went to the casino, and then we literally, so for like 5 hours after we'd just been kicked out of the casino because it was closing time, we were back in that shit, like,
that's
pretty much
iconic.
Straight again, and it was just ridiculous, like, getting into the car and just kind of, like, driving back 5 hours later, having, like, next to no sleep, semi still drunk, and then getting there and
babe,
still
it's 9 a.m. Time for the casino.
It was so good. Like, you definitely still, like, a little drunk, and then you were just like, I remember being like, oh, we're not gonna drink there, right? Because I'm fucking dying. They're like, here, the dog. And I was like, okay. So that was some degenerate shit, and we all gambled until we had to fly home. But that was a really good memory for me. So
that is a really good memory.
I think I went to the casino every night except for, like, 2.
Did you, like, win money or lose money, or you can refrain to answer?
I actually barely remember. I just remember the first night that I came back from the casino, I'd had far too many drinks, and I threw up outside the hotel.
Love that for you.
I don't endorse that.
We've all been there.
I don't actually throw up that often, but that night, for whatever reason, I blame the tequila in MDVA. Certainly.
Oh my gosh! Wait, do you remember the smash punch? Because at that pound, that's where they had the little bar, and they had the little, like, green, like, smash punch. That shit, like, slapped.
Yeah,
that was so good.
I like that. Okay, so this is what I like. I know a lot of people don't like alcohol at venues and stuff like that, but I think the reason
we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about it in our last podcast. Check it out. But I think when you don't allow alcohol into the venue, people will, like, sneak it in and it's like a large manner of alcohol. But the good thing about Pound was that it was controlled and there was a bar, and it wasn't like people were drinking out of their mind, but people were just, like, having little drinks where it was very, very controlled. And I don't think I actually saw anyone drunk at the Pound venue, and I didn't see anyone drunk unless they were at the casino, which was, like, a few miles away. You had to drive to get there.
Right.
So yeah, I think actually that would be a great idea if you're going to have alcohol at an event. In fact, I would encourage having alcohol at an event as long as it's, like, controlled, because then it stops people wanting to bring shit in and then it getting out of hand. Pound was sick. Pound was so well controlled.
Pound was so good.
That shit was fab. Ugh. Yeah. Take me back. I'm so sad the Pound 2020 didn't happen. You know how funny that was? That was literally the next one too. That's the one. That's the first one we lost. Was Pound 2020, because we had Genesis.
Right, because that Pound happens in, like, April, right? Like, mid-April, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
that was
oh my gosh. Rest in peace. This podcast is in memory of Pound 2020.
The first one we lost. Never forgotten. Always missed. Oh, I was so sad. I remember when Pound Online was announced too, and I was like, I'm not going to fucking watch that. I'm just going to be sad. I'm just going to be sad about it. It just hit my feelings.
Right.
Sad times. We'll have it back though. I'll be there for Pound 2025 when everything opens up again.
2025, yes.
Big sad energy. So if you have answers to what kind of tournament you would like to run, please pop them in the comments. If you don't like what we've said, tell us in the comments. If you don't like us, tell us in the comments. Just say whatever you want.
No, maybe not.
We don't give a fuck about what you have to say, okay?
My confidence is fragile. Please don't keep that to yourself.
Say what you want about me, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
If you want to talk to me, pull up to me at a major and say that shit. Do not.
True.
When it's safe to have our elements.
Say it to my
Don't
face.
hide behind your keyboard.
But no, please leave a comment or a like or whatever you like to do. We'll be back next month. We'll probably be talking about Smash Twitter and bringing back the memories of our fallen tournaments again. Bring back fresh ones. God bless. And yeah, this has been wonderful to have you again. Appreciate you for coming through.
Thank you for coming to the T.GG, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Ciao.